Hey everybody, Matumbo here. Welcome back. We are playing some more Historic on Magic Arena, and today we are going to explore one of my favorite cards from Old Standard in the form of Primal Amulet. Now, before we get into that, I would like to remind everybody to please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Again, we're growing super fast. We have passed 850 subscribers so far. We're shortly away from our goal at 1,000, and remember, at 1,000 we will do a special giveaway, and I'm really excited about that. So please hit that button, hit the like button on the video as well if you enjoy the video, and leave a comment. Let me know what videos you might want to see in the future, maybe what changes you would make to this deck, any kind of feedback. I always love to hear from everybody. So with that being said, let's hop into today's deck, and that is Primal Extinction. So back before Standard rotated with the Ixalan block, I really loved this card called Primal Amulet. Now, this is an artifact that costs 4. It's going to make all of our instant and sorceries cost 1 less. And whenever we cast an instant or sorcery, this artifact is going to get a charge counter. And if there are 4 or more charge counters on it, we actually get to flip it into a land called Primal Wellspring. Now, Primal Wellspring is a land that taps for any color mana, and when that mana is spent to cast an instant or sorcery, we actually get to copy it. So once we actually flip this artifact, we're going to have a land that is going to be copying instants and sorceries for free just for spending mana into them. So it's super powerful. It's very powerful if this card goes unchecked, if they don't really pay attention to it. So what are we going to be doing with cards like with Primal Amulet? Well, we're trying to really kill just as much stuff as possible. We really want to combine this with Star of Extinction. I know we don't need to be dealing 40 damage to creatures, but seeing this animation go off multiple times is really fun. It's really cool. But on the plus side, it does kill a land. So if we copy it, it's going to kill 2 land. And then also with Casualties of War, it's kind of the same thing. We're going to be able to destroy so many things in play. It's just going to get out of hand. I know this is probably not necessary, and we could probably better utilize Primal Amulet instead of with these. But again, this is a fun build. I really want to have some fun with it. So we really want to ramp into Primal Amulet on turn 3. So we are hoping to draw Mind Stone. Mind Stone, just like one of the classic artifact ramp spells back from Weatherlight. It was added in one of the anthology sets. Just the 2 mana rock that also has a upside if you can pay 1 mana, tap it, and sacrifice it to draw a card if you need to. So this has always been one of my favorites back since Weatherlight came out. But really the main way to win with this deck is we're just going to control the board. We're playing a bunch of creature kill spells, and we're just going to essentially Devil's Play or Fireball, however you want to refer to it, just a red X spell. We are going to pay 1 red and X, and we are going to deal X damage to any target. So if we are able to Devil's Play them for 10 with a Primal Wellspring that's transformed, we can actually deal 20 damage to them. So that's really what we're looking at. Plus this has flashback, so if we need to use this early on to kill a creature, this will still be sitting in our graveyard in order to actually pay the flashback cost and then still cast it again. So this is really like we have 4 of these in our deck, and with the plus side of us only having to play 2 of them. All right, so what other spells are we playing? We're playing Gaea's Blessing. Gaea's Blessing, again, this was reprinted in Dominaria. This originally came out in Weatherlight. This is one of my favorite cards of all time. There's been so many combo decks built around this, so many ways to abuse this. It basically, for 2 mana, we get to shuffle 3 cards back into our graveyard, or from our graveyard into our library, and draw a card. The benefit of this, the other benefit is if we're playing against a mill deck, which I really highly doubt we are, but it really gets these mill players good if we actually have it in our deck. If this card gets milled and put into our graveyard from our library, we actually reshuffle everything. So really powerful in that sense, but I don't ever see this coming into play. But let's just go over all of our different kill spells. We have Cry the Carnarium for, small creatures, creature-based decks that go wide really early on, like mono red, mono green, mono white. We have Maelstrom Pulse. This deals with target non-land permanent and all other permanents that share a name. So this can kill cards like a bunch of Land Elves if they come out. If we don't draw Cry the Carnarium, this can kill a bunch of tokens that are all named the same. So if we see things in multiples, this is really the card that we want to draw. Extinction Event. This is another mass removal spell. This could be good against the Garuda deck. I've been seeing a lot of Garuda, you know, in the meta on at least my end. And with Garuda, everything is even cost, so this can just really get our opponent really good. We have Ritual of Soot. It could destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less. That's really good. Storm's Wrath, kill or deal 4 damage to all creatures and planeswalkers. So again, like I mentioned, we have a lot of just mass removal, so we can just deal with what's on the board, so we can just kind of like stall out and then just start really messing with our opponents with Primal Amulet and whatnot. So the other two cards I just wanted to talk about real quick is we have Discovery Dispersal. Obviously we're playing this just for the Discovery side. We are playing this for the black mana. We're not playing blue. However, if we really need to, Primal Amulet does tap for any mana once it transforms, but we're really never going to cast the Dispersal side. We get to Surveil 2 and then draw a card. So it's really good. This is also really good if you get to copy it, because again, this is really just pay 2 mana, draw 2 cards, and look at the top 4 cards potentially. So really good. And last but not least, we have Masterminds Acquisition. So this is a tutor. It's going to either let us search for 1 card from our library or 1 card from our sideboard. So really good. This actually does make us play a sideboard. Our sideboard is going to be comprised of pretty much 15 just random cards that could be useful in different situations. And we're just going to see if we can get there. We are following this up with 24 land. This, I feel like this is enough land because we are playing 4 mana rocks, and the Primal Amulets do reduce the cost of our instants and sorceries. So I feel like this is probably the right number of land. So we're playing 4 of each of the Jund Shock lands and 4 of each of the Jund Check lands. And in regards to our sideboard, again, we can just go over this real quick. We have a couple Grafdigger's Cages. This is against Winota. I feel like if we have to tutor this out, we're probably already losing anyway. Sorcerer Spyglass for just pesky cards. An extra Cry the Carnarium here. A Virulent Plague for token-based decks, Field of the Dead, stuff like that. Blood Sun, again, Field of the Dead, stuff like that. Loaming Shaman, just a creature-based way to let us reshuffle cards into our library from our graveyard. Ashiok for graveyard-based decks, stuff like that. Heat to Extinction, a way to exile a giant creature in case they cast an Ulamog. An extra Ritual Soot, an extra Storm's Wrath, a Thought Distortion in case we're playing against a control deck and we want to get rid of all their cards. Mortal Sun, in case we're playing against a Super Friends deck. And a Boneyard Parlay, just for the memes, in case we kill a bunch of their creatures and then we want to just give them the old rub-in and bring them back into play under our control. So, but yeah, so that is the deck. I do want to remind everybody again to please stay until the end of the video for the wrap-up, where we do talk about what we liked about the deck, what we did not like about the deck, and anything along those lines. So, all right, well, stay tuned until the end of the gameplay, and we will see you guys soon. All right, so Primal Amulet. Don't necessarily have a good feeling about today's deck, but Primal Amulet is a really fun card. Can allow for some pretty busted things if it goes unchecked. Maybe not against this deck, so to speak, but red-blue. So is it? Interesting. That's actually a pretty good draw. We have 1, 2. We have oddsies and evensies. I'm definitely leaning more towards the even side right now. And that is pretty good, being able to opt. Take a bunch of damage there. Okay, well, pretty good. Is that just first strike? Oh, wow, this is a lot of damage. A lot of damage and a lot of card draw. We're taking 9, we're at 5 already. We're at 3. Holy shit. We are at 3 at life. I mean, we're essentially at 2. I'm sure this Terramander and a Shock is probably just going to finish us off. We're at 1. That is interesting. But we have to do this to stay alive. I really just want to keep him off of red. Don't need either one of those. We will put in this, this, and this. All right, well, I mean, at any moment we die, so. Larva Extinction, Gaia's Blessing, and Casualties, I guess. We have successfully flipped a Primal Amulet. So, what would we like to do? Do we want to copy? I mean, honestly, I think we have to... God. Is he conceding? I mean, it's getting copied. Wow, good game. We pulled that out at 1 life. Holy moly. Fully expected to lose that. Wow, 1 life. Wow. You know, really wanting to ramp into our Primal Amulet with Mind Stone and, well, Mind Stone into Primal Amulet is really good. So, oh, okay. So we're going first. We're going to keep this. This looks to be a winner. This, could be a potential tough matchup, but... So next turn we can Primal Amulet, then the following turn we can Masterminds Acquisition into something that kills his elves. So, I mean, it really is going to depend on what he does. Hey, he could have tapped his Gilded Goose for mana, or for 2 mana at the end of the turn. Okay, why don't you go after the Primal Amulet there, buddy? Yeah, so as much as... Actually, we're just going to put all these back in. That's pretty good. So I'm very surprised he's playing this. To do it again? Okay, well, we need to draw a black source very badly. He is out of mana, and we... This might get a concession. So we're actually going to draw a card here. Oh, that was a huge draw too. So... Oh yeah, we're going to transform. We actually... Alright, so I feel like we have to keep the Masterminds Acquisition. And I don't think we actually need to... Maelstrom Pulse anything. Alright, so we are going to... we are going to get a land that makes black. I mean, it was only a matter of time until he drew something like that, so. This is essentially a race. So... And we have to get rid of that. And I think we're going to go ahead and go get another Primal Amulet. And then next turn, we're going to draw a card at the end of his turn, so we don't need this Mind Stone anymore. All right, well, good game. We were just kind of like in a creature kill loop there, so. Very weird to be playing against the land destruction deck that game. Did not expect that. But, in the meantime, I forgot to tell you guys the last game. Stay hydrated, drink your water. Super, super important. So, I think we have to keep this. I wish we had another land in our hand, but it is what it is. We're going to lead on the Woodland Cemetery, because in case we draw something like a Stomping Grounds, we can shock into Discovery. But, I mean, either way, we're going to... If we have to shock, we're going to shock into Mind Stone. This is just in case. So, and we actually drew the exact card that I mentioned. That's pretty amazing. So, depending on what he plays here... So, and all that glitters would have just been... made it a 3/3. I'm very surprised he... Okay. So, Ornithopter... So, I think I value... actually, I don't. I don't want to show him this, though. So if he does all that glitters here, we do take a lot of damage, but it will kill whatever he all that glitters, because everything else would have died at that point. So... Okay. So, unfortunately for him. Wow. Good game. Good game. Play a lot of creature destruction. If we if we run into creature decks, we're gonna have a pretty good chance against them. So. Yeah, I guess it really didn't matter, but I really wonder what was in his hand. He still had 4 cards in his hand when he conceded, so maybe just no more creatures. So with our opponent going first, this is not where we want to be, where we can't play anything until turn 4. This really isn't much better, but at least we do have a turn 2. Pack Rat. Okay, well. Guess we're gonna shock. Really want to make sure that we hit our land here. I don't really want to show him casualties of war, but kind of have to at this point. So. It's actually a pretty good draw. So, the one card I feel like we're going to see against his deck. Oh. That's really funny that we just saw Divest. That's a card that me and my buddy Shane were actually talking about yesterday. About how this card is not heavily played right now. And again, it's just because there's a lot of undiscovered cards that are being played in the format, so. This is a really good card. It does hit artifacts or creatures, with it being a really creature-heavy format. That was a really good draw, wow. Actually, you know what? Did we save that? Are we greedy? I think we're greedy here. I think we're going to try to get him to play another Obliterator, put us on a potentially lethal turn next turn. Oh, wow. Well, we didn't expect that. No, should have just done that, right? And we have... We have lost. Well, let's just go ahead and get our friend Gaea's blessing. Say good game. Yep, we still don't have anything. You can just go ahead and kill us. He just wants to cast all of his spells. So he did have the Obliterator. We were right in thinking a Obliterator turn could have potentially been good for us. So we took a risk. It didn't pay off, but I think it was still worth it there. Yeah, I guess I typically don't expect to see Gray Merchant until the turn where it's gonna kill somebody, so we're gonna keep this. Really want to stay focused on having more black mana available this game. Well, we are going to shock this in. And you know what we're going to do next turn? Shock that in as well. So we're playing against, what, a cycling deck? Oh no, this is like a feather deck, huh? Okay. This is potentially bad. Especially with all of our shock lands. If we could have drawn some check lands this game, this would have been a completely different game. I feel like obviously being at 18 this turn for this swing is going to be a lot better than being at 14. That's really good. Looks like he might be stuck on land, though. God, hitting for 4 is really, really powerful. Oh, hitting for 6. We were right. Would be better to be at 18. So the problem is we could dispersal this. God, do we do that? I mean, right? We just have to say land, enchantment, creature. Kind of have to put him back a turn. And actually, we couldn't even dispersal this. We're not even playing blue. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Wow, he has another one. So this puts us at 4. How risky is it to... well... we effectively get rid of his hasters here, but land Luris is still really good. Wow. That's really good as well. And we are at 1. The story of our historic life with this deck, so to speak. So, all right, let's see. We pull this out. We go get a kill spell. So risky. So risky. This does flip us, though, if we do this. Oh, man. Yeah, we definitely want to transform. And we will be going ahead and doing this for a few times. So I think we have to keep the Devil's Play, just as it is a removal spell. We're in a pretty tough spot right now, being at 1 life. So I don't hate seeing Luris here. Curious Obsession doesn't do anything. Okay. So we're actually going to destroy a land and a creature. Got to keep him off. We have to keep him off red mana. Like, that is 100% the goal. And 1, 2. We draw land, we can win. Let me just recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's at 18. Wow. Whew. That was a crazy, crazy game. Holy shoot. Man. Wow. So we've won 2 games now where we were at 1 life. That is, to me, that's pretty amazing. But it does show you that this deck, where it is lacking a little bit. It's lacking in early game plays. It's lacking in, you know, taking damage in regards to, you know, shock lands and whatnot. No life gain. I'll tell you what, though, I feel like it's really good at drawing this Extinction event. So I really wonder what kind of counter spells he's playing. Do we... Okay, well, I guess we don't. So, interesting. Why do you concede there? I feel like it was turn 3, turn 4. Well, with an early concession like that, that just means we get extra games in our video. So, it's all good. It's all good. Extra games mean extra fun for everybody. So. Ragdoll 711. We're going first. We're seeing this Extinction event again for like the millionth time. I think we have to keep. And just kind of judging our mana situation, if there's any benefit to playing one land over another. Don't think so, but we are gonna run this out. Oh man. I just don't want to show him any of these. So I am fine with him maybe playing another Paradise Druid this turn. That'd be really fun. He did. Look at you go. Oh. Let's go ahead and slow you down. I like that. I like that. Oh, he had a third one. He had a third one. This is actually kind of a disappointing card to see. Not bad. So we're gonna go ahead and go get our namesake card here. So you have hexproof. So we're gonna get a... Oh, he's gonna concede here. Enchantment, artifact, creature, land. Enchantment, artifact, creature, land. And I guess we keep him off double black. Maybe should have hit the Godless Shrine there, honestly. Yeah. I knew that would eat a concession. That is hard to recover from, getting 4 permanents killed off of 1 spell. Sorry about it. So yeah, so I'm not gonna lie here. I really expected our deck to not be having short games like we're seeing a lot of. I did expect most of the games to last between like 6 to 10 minutes. But all of our games so far, I believe, have been less than 6 minutes. So, we're going first. This is a fine hand, honestly. This lets us potentially Wrath into Storm's Wrath, or ramp into Storm's Wrath if we need to. But Stomping Ground. And that's a good thing, though. We can, oh yeah, we can sit back for a minute. And actually, well, can't do that now because we're dumb. Let's just let him do his thing over there. Yep, light up the stage into I really would like for him to play creatures, but he might actually be the creature light, like burn version, where he's just trying to combo off with like Steamkins and maybe Arc-Light Phoenixes and whatnot. So I do feel like the longer we sit here, the better it is for us. Because he's... Okay. Well, that's fine. So the question is, do we draw here? I think we do. Oh, perfect. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and end this shenanigans because we don't want him to shock, then get 3 extra mana. We want him to actually spend all of his mana. And then drawing a land here is perfect because this is going to allow us to... Black, green, red. I want to make sure we have green and black. This is going to allow us to kill his Experimental Frenzy. Make him play off the top of his deck. Next turn we can Masterminds Acquisition if we need to. Now again, his deck is very capable of actually getting us. So I really hate to do this, but I feel like we actually want to kill this Pyromancer. I don't want to take any unnecessary damage against a red deck. Like, at all. And this might be the best card to go against to get, but we're just gonna get this Storm Wrath. So this might force out a Wizard's Lightning. Nope. Okay. So we are 1 spell away from flipping Primal Amulet, which is going to be huge. Right, well, feel like we're kind of at the mercy of our deck right now. We're gonna... This is a redraw technically, but I don't want to draw it. Yeah, we're definitely going to transform here. Alright, well, I'll take that. I'd really love to draw a draw spell like that. Let's go get something out of our hand, or out of our deck. Get a Masterminds Acquisition and another Primal Amulet. No, and he scoops it up. Yeah, that was really good. We were gonna essentially just start ramping up again, and then they're gonna try to triple fireball him. So good game, Mono Red. Alright everybody, welcome back to the wrap up. Now, we did really well with this deck, a lot better than I thought. We went 7-1 in games. Now, with some of these games, they were super close. So you actually saw a few games where we were actually left at 1 life, which was pretty crazy. Did not think we were going to win those games, but the key to winning those games, obviously, is we kept them off of a certain color mana, using our Star of Extinctions or our Casualties of Wars. And they were just not able to play any haste creatures, and we just eventually stabilized enough to where we won the game. So that was really cool to see. Really glad. Our one loss did come to a mono black devotion based deck. We took a greedy line where we should have killed a Friction Obliterator with a Maelstrom Pulse, but we were kind of banking on the fact that they were going to play another Phyrexian Obliterator the following turn because they had so many cards in their hand. And we were just really going to try to get them with a Maelstrom Pulse and do a 2-for-1. But instead, they just played a Gray Merchant and brought us down to 2, and then we couldn't recover after that. So, but yeah, the deck, again, performed really, really well. I thought the games were going to be a lot longer than they were. But again, that is the benefit of playing on Arena. The gameplay is a lot faster typically. You don't have to manually click through like you have to do on Magic Arena. So, and also on physical paper Magic, where you're actually sitting there thinking, you don't have to worry about ropes and whatnot. So, but yeah, what would I change? For once, I actually don't think I would change anything. I don't really know where I would be on that. I could just take a Storm's Wrath out and just drop to 60 cards, but I feel like in this particular version of this deck, everything has its own place. You could argue the fact that Gaea's Blessings don't really belong in this deck. But again, I really enjoy Gaea's Blessing. For me, if I stall out and run out of cards and have a Primal Amulet flipped, this does get me back some of my action cards, and it gets to copy, bring back even more of my action cards, gets to draw me a couple of cards. There's not a lot of card draw in this deck, so I do think every place you can fit an extra card draw in, it is good. Because I don't think Harmonize or anything like that is legal. So, but yeah, that's what I think about the deck. And you also could cut the 2 Devils plays actually completely from the main deck, put them in the sideboard, and then just add something else to the deck. That's also a way to go about actually not have a straight up win condition in your deck at all. So that's kind of risky though, because then you do have to worry about Masterminds acquisitions. But that is one way, and I have done that before. It is kind of fun. But with all that, I hope you guys really enjoy this deck. It's a lot of fun to play. It is kind of expensive. Again, you need to have the anthologies, or you have to use the wild cards on them. And then on top of that, the rares for all the mana base. There is, few mythics in regards to the Star of Extinctions. But other than that, I mean, you should be good to go. Give this deck a try. Let me know what you would change about this deck in the comments down below. That would be awesome. And again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we are about to hit 1,000. And again, giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, hit that like on and that bell icon to be notified of those videos coming out soon. But all right, guys, it is, I believe, Sunday, and we just saw a really cool event in the form of a commercially owned rocket being launched successfully and docking with the International Space Station. So, I mean, pretty crazy times in our world going on. So, but yeah, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe, and we will see you guys next time.